Alright, here we go. Oh, baby. I can't pass that up. There is no way I'm passing that up. I don't even care what else is in this pack. So I will grab that, and then I will introduce myself. Hey, I am Phil. I am drafting with a bunch of people from the LoadingReadyRun chat room. And I am taking Keranos, and I am going deep. And that is pretty much all you need to know. I've always considered trying to do some sort of recording me playing MitGo or streaming playing MitGo because, you know, it's a thing that people do. And then I looked at what my internet is here in Australia and decided, no, I don't want to stream Magic Online at 240p or whatever I'd be able to support. So I figured, why not just record it and put it on the internet afterwards? It means that people can't watch me while I'm playing, and it also means that I can take this and let's look at what we get next. So, not a lot in blue or red. I mean, there's a flyer and this guy, but not a lot of really interesting things. This is really the only card that actually catches my eye as a card that's actually exciting. None of these other cards really interest me as much. But while it's good, it's certainly a very good card. I might just try to stay in blue because I really want this to work. Because when this works, this is a lot of fun. So I'm taking the Warwing Siren. Oh yes. I mean, I can't not, can I? I mean, this is very good. This is pretty good. These are essentially the same card. This one has flash, but it's slightly... Actually, I don't know really which one is easier to block. It depends on what you're playing against. But other than that, we seem to be in reasonable colours. I mean, this is a very nice card. This is pretty good as well, as far as combat tricks go. I mean, giving you guys indestructible is pretty nice. But other than that, there's not a great deal here that interests me. But then again, it is Journey into Nyx, so that's pretty normal. There's not a lot of cards in the set that super excite. Ooh. I've been looking at a lot of white cards that have gone past and been marginally upset, but that makes me a lot more upset. But I think we have to stay our ground. At this point, we're sort of locked into the blue-red plan. I mean, we could move, but we'd be giving up both of these. If we change any colour, we're giving up both of these. So I think hold the line, let someone else have an O-ring, and hope it works out. Okay. I'll take a Magma Spray. I mean, this is reasonable. It's not the worst. I mean, 4 power in the air flying with the 6 mana. I can play that. But then again, you know, there are better things to do with your mana, and Magma Spray is one of the reasons to be in red. Line Breaker. I don't think we're going to be super heroic. And if you don't target this thing, it's not that great. By which I mean it's actually pretty mediocre. And the blue-red deck doesn't go heroic that much. I mean, most of the red targeting things are things like Magnus Ray, which sounds like a bad plan. Alright. More flyers, I guess. Oh. Definitely in the right colours if this is still here. This went through 9 cards, so this went through almost everyone. 7 people have seen this, and now I'm taking it. That is a very good sign. And and now we're not much, but it's not like our colours are running out, it's just that there's just not much here. Like, this is just sad. This is pretty sad. I guess I could almost see a situation where I might like want to sideboard this in, so I'm going to flag that. But I definitely not cutting any of these cards either, so just go over there where I don't have to look at you. Alright, sure. I mean, it's not actually as good as it looked originally when I saw this card. 99% of the time I cast this thing, I wish it was Voyage's End, because having bestow guys fall off is usually better than having them go back to their hand. Even though it's a massive tempo hit to have them have to recast it again, then being able to re-bestow them is just so much of an advantage that just having them fall off and be creatures is usually better for you. Alright, so there's not a lot here, so I'll just... I can't see a time where I'm going to bring in either of these. Maybe the... Actually, no. No, I can see a time where I bring in that Desire. So I'll take that for the sideboard. I really don't want to be this deck. Not in the sort of blue-red sort of plan. But none of these are cards as far as I care. Like, people can play Trailblazers against me all day and I'll just fly over the top of them. So that is not actually a concern. I guess this is technically removal. So who else is in this pod with me? It's me, passing to Stew the Cat, to Husk, Aynard, Lorenzo, Broken Spoke, Raymond Ong, Eddie. I recognise some of these people. I'm pretty sure all of them are from the Loading Ready Run chat room, which is a thing we do every week. We try to get together and all draft as a group, which is a lot of fun. And I certainly recommend checking it out. There'll be a lot of links in the description for how you can get in on this if this is something that sounds interesting to you. I'm not even going to say anything, I'm just going to open that up and then look at the rest of the cards. I think this is the best one for me. I mean, it's not really the sort of plan that I'm trying to go in with, but there's just not a lot here. I mean, the Sphinx's Disciple, which is pretty mediocre. I mean, it's still a flyer, but I think we can get this back. I mean, you saw how you saw how open blue was in the first pack, and this is not the greatest card. I think this will come back. Stratus Walk also has a pretty decent chance of coming back, and most of our stuff already flies. Like, what have we got as far as creatures go? This already flies, this already flies, this already flies, this already flies. This isn't always a creature, and this we're not attacking with. So Stratus Walk actually seems pretty terrible for us right now. We could just go all of the gods. That's the thing, right? I'm sure we could have both of these gods devoted at the same time. That's certainly a thing that we could certainly plan for. And by that, I mean the exact opposite of that. I'll take another one of these, but I think it has to be Retraction Helix. We don't really have a lot of ways to interact with our opponent just yet. We have a bounce spell, like a worse bounce spell, and Magmus Ray. So now we can take another kind of worse bounce spell, because we're not really the heroic deck, so we're not getting any advantage out of targeting our own guys. So it's sort of bounce their guy, but with a couple of restrictions, more than bounce their guy in with a couple of benefits. But we're still going to run it. I mean, it's still a good card. And this is just the green pack, isn't it? I mean, that's not really a card, but this and this. Okay, so maybe it's not the green pack. It just has a lot of unexciting green cards in it that are just falling through. I think it's just divination. I mean, this isn't that great. This isn't that great. But other than that, there's not a lot here for us. I mean, we could just take Temple of Plenty for the, what is it, like half a ticket or a quarter of a ticket or something. But divination's probably reasonable for us. Oh yeah. This has got to be better than... I mean, they both say deal with their creature, but you have to have a creature. This one just says just deal with it. Well, I took one, and I'm happy to take another. Okay, now I'm feeling a lot better about this deck, now that it's got some reasonable removal in it. And a reasonable combat trick. These guys are actually pretty good as far as this whole cycle. So I'm going to grab that. I know the Sudden Storm is here, but I think we have enough ways to deal with their creatures, having just taken 2 Fall of the Hammers in a row. So I don't think we need the Sudden Storm. We don't really need it to attack through anyway, since most of our attacking force is in the air. Sudden Storm's a lot better in like a blue-green deck, where most of your attacking force is on the ground. So you can tap down a bunch of their guys and then get through with your guys. Whereas, since most of our guys are in the air, we don't really need that to get through. So I'll just take this guy that makes flyers. I'm still going to take this though, even though it's, like I said, it again is also better in the blue-green deck, where it's mostly giant ground guys that you're forcing through. But it's still pretty good. I mean, we can still put it on, you know, the worshippers or the big guy if it comes to that, or like the giant or something, and just manage to crush our way through. Now, there are still uses for this, and there's nothing else here that we're considering. So the Siren didn't come back, and we're still not a Stratus Walk deck. Might just... Do I just take Nullify for the sideboard, or do I run Whims of the Fates? I mean... Oops, my finger slipped. Oh, hey. I'm not going to say no to that. I think we have enough 2s already that I don't need to take the Piker. And we've got... Actually, most of these... None of these are creatures. We've just got the Starfish for creatures in here. Because that's not really a 2-drop. That's up here. And Font of Fortune's Hubris, Fall of the Hammer, Fall of the Hammer, Rise to the Challenge. None of those are creatures, so maybe I do want the... Oh, time's run out. I need to get better at figuring things out within time while talking, which is something that I haven't had to do before. Fine, I'll take a Scouring Sands. I'll take this Cyclops. Maybe we'll run it. I hope not. It's not that great, really. It's pretty good when you're on the defensive and it can trade up, but if you're attacking and they block with their 2-1, you're kind of just sad. I didn't even take anything out of that, so what did I get? I got Floodtide Serpent. Someone else can have Claim of Erebor, so I'm not going to fight over that. Alright. Here we go. Ooh. Can I even reasonably pass this up? I don't think I can. I mean, probably not actually running this. Hopefully not running both of these. I mean, one of these is fine, but I don't really want to run both of them. So our top end isn't actually as heavy as it looks right at the moment. So I think we can run this and be happy with it. I mean, it is a great card. It's just very expensive. I mean, what are our other options? There's an Ordeal, but we're not really an Ordeal deck. I mean, we just looked, it's like our only 2-drop is Starfish, which is not the greatest thing to put an Ordeal on. Riptide is great, and I hope we pick one up at some point, but I don't think it's better than the Kraken. And what else have we got? You know, P-Corruption, Spark Jolt, Cut Gary. These aren't things that are reasonable to do. So we'll just crack them up. Do we have a picture, or is it an invisible emissary? Actually, it's invisible, lots of cards. Oh, there they go. This is just back-breaking. I mean, in our deck we've mostly got flyers, so it's mostly just +3/+3 and unblockable, because they would need... How often is our opponent going to have 2 things that can block flyers? And that's just, you know, +3/+3 that they can't block is pretty damn good. But even just casting it on its own, it's still pretty reasonable. Other than that, there's the Minotaur, which is certainly something that we'd run. This isn't really for us. It's not the sort of deck that we want to be. And we'd certainly run the President, but I think we just take the Emissary here. And this is just the Cyclops all day. It's really the only card in consideration here. I mean, Fate Foretold is reasonable and all, but we're not the heroic deck, so it's basically just very slow divination. And we already have faster divination and moderately slow divination. We don't need a 3rd divination. This is not a limited card. This is a 2-mana 2/1, which we could take, but we're not really we've hedged away from being the deck that wants a 2-mana 2/1. We just want big evasive things, and Trample is good enough. So there isn't really much here that we want. For the longest time I thought this card had flying, because it's in the air in the art. But it's actually not in the air in the art. It's just jumping out of the water. So it's not really on theme with what we're trying to do with all of these flyers, which is actually less flyers than it was when I looked before, but still. I mean, I'll still take it, because it's the only real card for us. We don't really want Dissolve. We already... Did we take that Nullify before? Oh, we didn't. I still don't think we actually want Dissolve. So we'll take the Hippo, and hopefully end up not running it. Probably not running any of these either. There's nothing here that we're particularly scared of. I mean, this is kind of scary, but not scary enough that it warrants taking it from somebody else. So I think we'll just take this just on the basis of, you know, we could run it. I don't particularly think we want to. Oh, here we go. Foil rares. I mean, I'm not even sure it's actually that great a card for us, but it's a foil rare in our colours. I can't say no to that. This is probably actually the pick. This or this. Probably just this. But this is fancier, and I have simple tastes. Omen Speaker? Sure. Why not? I mean, this isn't really for us. This isn't really that good. This is really not that good. So, let's speak some omens. Take another Cyclops. I guess if this is coming around, then I'll stop it from coming around any further. This is really the only card in this pack. I guess I'll take slow divination, but straight to the sideboard. Get out of here. That, I mean, it's not much of a concern to us, but it still could be annoying. I don't think we actually want a Traveler's Amulet, but I'll take it anyway. Probably won't run that. Ooh, Shredding Winds. Haha, take that, person immediately to the left of me if you happen to be in green. You're not going to kill my flyers. Unless you already have one. Which you probably already do, because I think I saw another one go past. And a mountain. We'll need those. Deck building will begin shortly. Alright, I think I can live with that. Okay, so what do we have? Grouping creatures separately. Alright, so we do have quite a few creatures. But we have a lot of stuff down here as well. I don't think we want 2 divinations. Don't think we want the Breaching Hippocamp. Because we have so many 4s. We really don't need another one. Is the Flitterstep Eidolon actually good for us? I mean, we have... It's already flying, but, you know, it would trigger Heroic. And then we have... This is on the ground, 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 these are on the ground. Yeah, so I think the Eidolon is actually good for us. Put this over for cards that we would consider taking out. What else do we not sure that we actually want? It's Titan Strength. I think that's just it. I mean, most of these other cards look reasonable for us. I mean, these are pretty good. These, we didn't end up... My main concern when I was taking these was that, you know, usually you get plenty of high end, but we actually don't have that much. I mean, we have all of these, and this is sort of our top end. And I think that's a reasonable amount of top end. I don't think that's too heavy, especially since this one can be cast a lot earlier. And you're still perfectly fine casting this on 4 most of the time. Obviously, it depends on what they have. So I think this is an entirely reasonable layout for this deck. Are we missing anything relevant? I don't think this bounces anything that we care about. In fact, I don't think it bounces anything at all. Yeah, it doesn't really bounce anything cheap, just the three enchantment creatures. Don't actually have any enchantments below the line here. So that's definitely not a thing. That's definitely not a thing. That's as mediocre as it always is. Yep, nothing up here that I think we want. So this looks like what we're going to go to town with. Heavier blue, and there was also blue earlier. We want to be able to get, Starfish, Omen Speaker, and whatnot down early, where our first red creature is not until turn 4. So definitely hedging towards blue, but I think it's still just 9-8. I don't think we want to go to 10-7 with this many red cards in the deck. So, add basic lands. What do you say? You also say 9-8. We already have a couple of mountains though, so add those to the deck and these mountains. And there it is. That's what we're running with. Submit. And I will see you guys in round 1.